Now the next thing, and one of the most important things we will use for identification of lumber, is to look at the transverse surface. Okay, so in order to do that though, this is where I need a sharp tool. The cut was made here with a miter saw. Okay, and anytime a saw cuts wood, it's a large kerf, it's a wide kerf, and as it cuts through the wood, it tends to tear the fibers, okay, tear the cells along this end grain or transverse side. When they're torn, we can't get a good look with our hand lens. Okay, so before I can look at this with my hand lens, I need to make sure I have a clean cut surface. Looking with a hand lens right now is going to be very distorted. You're just going to look at torn fibers. Okay, and you can see that. Try that first if you like. And you'll find that it doesn't have as crisp of ID features. So for this part, we need a sharp knife. Now, some people will want to use a jackknife. What I find is many times a jackknife is not sharp enough unless you're really good at sharpening it. What I use, being a woodworker, is I use a wood chisel. Okay, and that wood chisel, I will sharpen this end sharp enough that I can shave the hairs on my arms with it. It's razor sharp. That is the type of sharpness that we need. Okay, so I would recommend going to a building store, hardware store, and just picking up an inexpensive utility knife like this. Okay, maybe called an X-Acto knife or a utility knife. There's different types, but these are extremely sharp, and the ones with the disposable blade, as they wear out, there's the notches on here. You can just bend and break it off and have a fresh, sharp surface, okay, as it comes out to be sharper. Okay, so I would recommend that because it's cheap and it is the sharpest tool you will get for the job. Next step, I would recommend putting some gloves on, leather gloves. It is an extra layer of protection, okay, as you are doing this. There is room to cut yourself, and that is what I don't want. So please, please use caution here. It's important to set up properly to make this type of cut. What we need on the transverse side is to make a cut, okay? Now, what I'm doing is I'm supporting my thumb below where I'm cutting, okay? And I'm controlling that by using my hand as a lever to slice. Okay, so this way, sorry, there you go, see it on the screen. I'm cutting very cautiously, but in a great control, because I'm prying against here. My thumb is below. Okay, my thumb is below the wood. I have the extra protection of a glove on, but my thumb is below the wood, and I'm doing one of these as I cut. Okay, so I'm prying in, but there's a lot of control here as well. Okay, this is all I need exposed most of the time. Okay, you may find you need more, you want to see more, but with a hand lens, seeing a little section like this, that is all I really need. Now using my hand lens to be able to have a look at this transverse side, and this tells me a whole lot of information about the wood. Most species we will identify with just this little section of lumber exposed.